Now maybe we got it recording. I don't know what happened. Got a little something going on with the camera and the Wi-Fi. Disconnected. Anyway, we're going to try and make a bread pudding this morning. Like my grandma Levy used to make. Her name was Levi, but everybody called her Levy. L-E-V-I. Anyway, she's where I got most of my passion for cooking. Picked up a lot of stuff from her. She never measured nothing. I don't either. Kinda. Anyway, let me show you what we got assembled, and I'll walk you through the steps, but I thought it'd just be easier to just show you what we got on hand. We're going to start off with some farm fresh eggs. Shout out to Kevin Arrington. He keeps me in chicken eggs, duck eggs, goose eggs. We've got a bunch of bread here. We pulled that out of the insides of 2 Italian loaves. Stuff that I was making po' boys with. Doing another one today. And anyway, that's the bread from it. We've got somewhere around a cup of granulated sugar. That's going to go into my pudding mix. We've got evaporated milk. That's going in there as well as some vanilla. We've got some cinnamon, some nutmeg. We've got some raisins, and we've got some walnuts. We've got butter. And we got some brown sugar. That brown sugar is going to be for the sauce that's going to go over the top of it. I've got a pan out. I hadn't got it buttered yet, but I'm going to. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is take this bread and probably some of them walnuts and put them on a cookie sheet and stick them in an oven at 250 and let them kind of toast up and get some of that moisture out there. I want a thick custard for this. I don't want a thin one. If it doesn't look thick enough when I stir it all together, I may even add a little cornstarch. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, y'all hang with me. It's going to be good, y'all. I think we're recording. I'm having issues with the phone this morning on Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on there. We got our oven heated to 250. Here's our bread laid out on a cookie sheet. You can see I throwed a couple handfuls of that walnut on there. We're going to stick it in there about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to watch it. I don't want to completely toast this, but I do want to get some of that moisture out of that bread and get a little crispness to it. While that's going on, let's see what the time is. It is 9:35. We'll check it at about 9:45, 9:50, something like that. But while that's going on, I'm going to butter my dish and heat up a little bit butter. Just warm it up in a saucepan to pour over that bread when it comes out. Y'all hang with me. We'll get this going here in just a sec. Okay, I believe we're recording. As you can see, we got our butter melted. I think that was about a half a stick, not sure. And this has been in the oven. It is 10 minutes till 10, so it's been in there pretty close 15 minutes. First thing I'm going to do is bump that oven up to 350 because that's what I'm going to cook my pudding at. There we go. That'll beat and let me know when it's ready. Again, I'm not looking for any toasting on this. Let me get this bougie pot holder. See if we can get that out of there. Shouldn't be too awful hot. Close that oven out the way. We're going to put that in our bowl. Yeah, that dried it up pretty good. That dried it up pretty good. I keep wanting to grab that pan without a pot holder. I'm going to find out here in a minute how hot it is. I'll try to get it all in there. Try to get it all in there. We don't want to leave nobody out. All right. Let me set that aside for just a second. We're going to take that butter we just melted and we're going to pour over the top of that. Let it get some of that goodness. And I'm going to set that pan aside because that's the same pan we're going to make our sauce in. Let me wipe that butter off the side before we get a runaway here. Be smoking on the stove. I don't want to put it back on that hot burner just yet. We're going to give this bread a toss. Let everybody get some of that good butter. Let some of them walnuts get some of that butter. Just trying to evenly distribute it here as best I can. Alright, I believe that'll take care of that. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to start working on our custard now. So let's get over here and break some eggs. As you can see, I've already got a dish there greased up with butter pretty good, ready to go. Let me get my little whisk. Lay all them eggs out of there. That's where we're going to go to mix. I'm going to break them into a separate container so I can capture any shell that might get in there. Man, are them some pretty rich looking eggs. That color. You don't get that golden color on them store-bought eggs. These are real chickens. They get to run around the yard to eat bugs. All that kind of stuff. I used 5 of them. They're small, but they'll work. Alright, let me set that aside for just a second. I really need to wash my hand a little bit, get some of the egg off of it. There we go. There we go. Y'all hang with me. We're going to get it done. First thing I want to do is break up these eggs a little bit. Make sure that yolk and that white all get mixed together. And we're going to start adding stuff to that. First I'm going to add is our milk. I don't know how much of this we're going to use. Not quite sure. I should have already had it open, but I ain't. We're just going to take something heavy and sharp and punch a couple holes and see what happens. Try not to hurt myself. It says shake well. Maybe we ought to shake it up a little bit. Yeah, Granny be proud. I've seen her do this many a time, punch a hole in it. This way she did it for my step-granddad Travis. This is what he used in his coffee every morning. Condensed milk. Again, I don't know how much I'm going to put in there. I'm going to start off with that. Just beep, let me know I was at 350. I'm probably put about a half of the can. About a half a can to start with. We'll see where it goes from there. Alright, next thing I want to do is add me some cinnamon. All up the side there. Now you see I hit it pretty heavy with that cinnamon. I want that bite. Hit it with a little bit of nutmeg. Get back down in there, boy. A little bit of nutmeg, not as much as cinnamon. That'd be plenty right there. And of course, we gotta have some vanilla extract. See how much I got in there, because I need some of that for my sauce too. We're gonna put. Let's see what a lid full looks like. It's gonna take more than that. A couple of them. There we go. That'll do it. And we need to stir that up after we get our sugar in. I don't know why, but Grandma always done this. That's just regular old table salt. Just a pinch. Just a pinch. Now comes the granulated sugar. Let's pour that in there. Get in there, boy. Set that aside. Grab our handy dandy whisk here and go to whisking. Get it all stirred up, incorporate, and get all them good flavors in there. Smelling good already. And ain't even cooked. I smell them spices. That cinnamon and nutmeg and vanillas. Ooh-wee. That looks pretty thick right there. That looks pretty thick. I think I'm going to add some more of that condensed milk. Let's come on in there with that. A little bit more. Might end up taking the whole can. I don't know. Ain't going to hurt nothing. If you get it too thin, I'll hit it with a little cornstarch. That's what Grandma always done. And I don't really measure it. I just kind of use that T-lar method. That looks about right. T-L-A-R. Oh, this is going to be good. I already know it's going to be good. I think it can stand the rest of that milk. That way I don't waste nothing. Let's use it all. Let's get it all in there. Let's get it all in there. Good to the last drop. Get in there, boy. That's all of it. Dead soldier. Give that a little whisk. All right. I believe that'll do it right there. I believe that'll do it. That's still a little bit hot right there. We better pour this over here. I'm going to pour this over my bread. Get it all in there, that little custard. Get all of it in there. We're going to set this aside. We done with that. Now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and add my raisins. Don't know how many. I'll give it a handful or two and stir it around and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's going to take more than that, I already know. Now you ain't got to add raisins if you don't like them. You ain't got to add the walnuts. You can add or subtract anything you want to in a recipe that doesn't suit you. This ain't rocket science, y'all. This is good food. I believe that'll do it right there. We'll set them aside. Let's give this a good stir. Give this a good stir. Let everybody get married up there. It doesn't really hurt if you leave a piece or two a little bit dry, because it's gonna absorb up. It's gonna absorb up some. Again, when this finishes, I don't want a mushy pudding. I want something that's got a little texture to it. That's the reason the raisins and walnuts are in there too, to help with that stuff going on. That looks pretty good right there. All right, let's pour that in the dish, and I can set that on that little burner. It ain't real hot. The light's done went out. Get it all in there. Still waiting on the oven to heat. It ain't quite come up to 350 yet. Should be beeping here shortly though. Man, that looks good. Almost makes you want to lick the bowl. That freaks people out though. You got raw egg in it. They kind of get weirded out about that. Alright, let's set that aside. I'll wash all that up while this is baking and making my sauce. That's looking really good. That's looking really good. Alright, we're going to call that good. Oven still hadn't beeped, hadn't come up to temp yet, so I'm going to turn this camera off and I'm going to start assembling my sauce, and I'll get you back on when we do that. Y'all hang with me. It's going to be good, y'all. Alright, I believe we're up and running. We have got our oven up to temp 350. Pudding going in. Slide that back there to about midway. Shut the door. Look at the time. It's 10 minutes after 10. It'll take about 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. But in the meantime, we're going to make a sauce pour over the top of it. What I got in that little saucepan there is a half stick of butter. We'll go ahead and turn that up. At about medium. That ought to do it. And we're going to have to put some brown sugar in there with it. I don't have much. We'll look at it. Probably going to have more sauce than we need, but it'll be good over ice cream or anything else. Looks like I might have maybe a cup. I don't know. We'll see. Let me close my bag up. Get that put aside. We're also going to add some vanilla. I'm not even going to use a cap on this. There ain't a whole lot left in the jar. Put it all in there. There's probably a couple teaspoons left in it. That'll go in the garbage and on my grocery list. So that was all of it. Now what we want to do is let that caramelize. While that's going on, we do kind of want to stir it. You don't want it to burn or scorch. That wouldn't be good. Let all that butter get married up with that brown sugar. That brown sugar start caramelizing here shortly. It won't take long. It won't take long, y'all. Kind of cut that butter a little bit and get it broke up. Get it melting a little bit better, a little bit quicker. This is going to be a pretty thick glaze. Pretty thick icing. But it'll be good, y'all. I can promise you that. I think I'm going to turn that fire down just a tad. Ain't no need being no race. We got a while yet before that pudding's ready for this put over it. We got a little while to go before it's ready to put in there. Give it a stir. Keep whisking. Keep whisking. Man, that smells good. That smells real good. Now look, if this comes out a little bit too thick, you'd want to add a little bit of milk. But I'm out of milk. You see me pour the last of it out of the can. I can add a little bit of water. It won't hurt nothing. It may turn out fine. We'll know. We'll know here in a minute. We'll know here in a minute. What you want is to make sure that when this stuff starts cooking, that you no longer feel that grittiness to the sugar. The granules need to all be melted. We're not trying to make a hard candy here. We want a thick glaze to pour over the top of that pudding, like an icing. I guess I should have reserved a little bit of that milk. That would have made it a lot richer. Sometimes you just make mistakes in cooking and cover up for it the best you can. That's life. Life throws something out there at you that you ain't expecting. You just got to roll with the flow. Life goes on. But we sure don't want to have to throw nothing away. So we're going to make the best of what we got. That's smelling good, looking pretty good. Not looking to get no rolling boil, but when I start seeing a little bit of bubbles, I can already feel the granules have almost disappeared. I'm not feeling any grittiness in the bottom of that pan at all. You could at this point just remove it from the heat and set it aside. Kind of bring it up to temp before you pour it over the thing. We'll see. Well, you know, we're experimenting. You guys need to know that you can do stuff like this. I'm going to add just a touch of water to that and see what happens. All right, I got myself a little cup of water. Now, weird stuff can happen when you got hot stuff on the stove and you start pouring cold stuff into it. So be prepared. I'm just going to add just a few drops, maybe a couple, 3 tablespoons. Give that a stir. Oh yeah, that's working fine. Well, you can get by with it. Ha 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 ha. I told you so. Just gotta have faith. I want to tell you something. That there thinned out pretty good. Enough, I think, when it starts actually getting a little bit of bubble, that stuff will thicken up as it starts cooling. I don't want it too thick that I can't pour it over the top of the pudding. I want it to be able to glaze it good and everybody get covered. But we are going to bring it back up until it starts bubbling just a little bit. Y'all hang with me. It's going to work, y'all. It's going to work. It's going to work. It smells so good you want to dip your finger down there and taste it. I guarantee you'll be drawing that finger back pretty doggone quick. That stuff is like molten lead. Yeah, it's starting to tighten up a little bit. Still want to see a bubble or two. Let me bump my fire back up. I turned it down a little bit ago because it was getting away from me. They're trying to. It ain't going to get away. It can run, but it can't hide. That's a good dark, rich color. That was light brown sugar too, by the way. You can use the dark, and it'll even turn out darker than this. But this is the color I'm looking for right here. Yeah, it's starting to stick to my thing just a little bit. Not a whole lot of drippage. A little bit of drippage. It ain't stringing yet, so we ain't made candy, and that's what I want. If you know anything about candy making, you know what I'm talking about. It ain't stringing yet. It is tightening up though. I can feel it. Just in my stirring. I can feel it. Alright, I'll tell you what I think we're going to do. I feel absolutely no more granules in there. As smooth as a baby's behind. And it's got good coverage on that whisk. Starting to get a little bubbling going right there. And that's what I want. You see that? It's just real slowly moving. So we're going to turn the heat off and we're going to take this plum off and just set it over here to the back till the pudding gets ready. And that's going to be a little while. Do y'all remember what time I put that pudding in? I don't. I think it was 10 after. I think it was. So it's almost 20 after 10 now. We'll see you in about, I don't know. We'll take a peek at this thing about 11 o'clock. And it should be getting close to done, which should be around 11:10. But it may be cooking a little quicker today. Give that one more final stir. Man, I want some of that right now, don't y'all? Y'all hang with me when you'll see it when the pudding comes out of the oven. We're going to get this camera off and clean up some of our mess in here. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. That was a pretty thick custard. It smells like it might be ready. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah. That's looking really good. That's looking really good. Let's give the old toothpick test. Make sure nothing comes out nasty. Yeah, it looks good. I want to tell you, we're going to try and do this one right. Normally, if I had ice cream here at the house, I'd be digging into that right now. It smells amazing. Looks good. And I'd put a scoop or two of vanilla ice cream over it while it's still hot, but we're not going to do that. We're going to let that set. We're going to let it set about 30 minutes. I'm going to give them a little topping here. A little bit of stir. It's not hot. They're still warm. We're going to drizzle it out all over the top of it. Get it as evenly distributed as you can. You ain't gonna get every nook and cranny, but you'll get a bunch of them. You'll get a bunch of them. There we go. Man, that stuff smells good. Get up in there, boy. Get up in there, boy. And what we're going to do now is give that 30 minutes before we cut it. I know that's hard to do. It is for me, but I want to get into it right now. It smells and looks amazing. But after that sets for 30 minutes, we're going to take a knife to it and cut us out a section and put it over there at the dining room table. And we're going to take a bite and see what she turned out like. I know it's going to be good. Y'all hang with me. Let's wait 30 minutes and we'll get to cutting and move over to the dining table. Y'all hang with me. Okay, we got this thing back up and running. I can't wait no 30 minutes. It's been 15, but I did feel of it, and it feels cuttable. It feels like it's set really good. It smells amazing. I'm going to cut a piece here. I'm going to get it out and put it on a plate, and then we're going to go to the dining room table, and I'll give you a full review. It's still pretty hot. It's still pretty hot, but I believe it's going to be all right. If y'all wasn't looking, I'd lick that knife off. We'll save that right there. It's going to be all right. Let's get in here and see if we can get some of this good stuff out here. Oh, yeah. Come out of there, big boy. I forgot to scrape around the edge. There we go. Come on now, cooperate with me. Do right. Oh my gosh. Can y'all see that? That cut out pretty doggone well, didn't it? Alright, let's get over to the table and we'll take it up from there. Y'all hang with me. It's going to be good, y'all. We've made it over to the dining room table. Oh, let me sit down and get this camera off my head. I'll get it positioned where maybe you can see me. Not that you want to, but I want you to see my reaction when I bite into this stuff. All right. Can y'all see that? Y'all see that? Lord, we thank you for the blessings here. Thank you for the ability to be able to cook still. Thank you for my mind still being sharp enough to pull stuff like this off. I don't know how hot that's going to be, but I know it's going to be good. Let's see what she tastes like. Shut the front door. It's hot, but it is amazing. It is amazing. I encourage y'all to try something like this. Again, you see the steps through it. It's simple stuff, simple baking, simple cooking. I'm gonna take just a minute, talk to you about subscribers. Pardon the chomping and chewing. I'm getting lots of views on this stuff. I looked at my analytics yesterday on my last cooking video, not even my fishing video, and I'm showing 1,000 returning viewers for every video. That's awesome, and I'm proud to see it, and I appreciate each and every one of you that are clicking on the watch. But only 800 of those, actually 790, are subscribers. What are you guys waiting on? Hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. And it will help me to get to 1,000. I'm going to speak just another minute or two. I'm going to get my mouth empty. As you can see, this stuff is rocking. This is really good. When I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to put the first 1,000 subscribers into a hat. We're going to draw a name, and that person is going to have their choice, whatever they want to do. Do you want a fishing trip? Do you want to get together and do a cooking video? Do you want to come just sit down at the table and let me cook something for you? I don't care. But whatever you want to do, you and one other person is going to win that trip. Of course, you're going to have to pay for your own transportation to get here. But if you do and you want to go fishing, we're going to put you on a guided fishing trip. Fish of your choice, doesn't matter. And if you want to do food of your choice in any form or fashion you want to do. But I appreciate all of you for watching, especially to the end. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I brought a giggle or a smile to your face. I know this is bringing a big smile to my face. And I hope y'all try it soon. But until the next adventure, God bless y'all.